you all doing? I hope you all are having a fabulous day. This is your girl Rosemary and welcome to the Cuisine cooking channel. Before we look at what we're making today, I want to stop and thank you all for your support on this channel, because without you I wouldn't even be here. So thank you for your support. Thank you for sharing the video with your family, with your friends. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, for giving me a thumbs up. So now let's look at what we need to make our eggplant stew. The first thing you will need is your eggplant. So I'm going to be using 2 eggplants for our stew today. Eggplant is very rich in essential minerals. It is rich in your vitamin C, your vitamin K, your B6, your folate, the minerals such as your potassium. It's very rich. And eggplant is a good source of dietary fiber, so it's going to help with your bowel movement, so you can never go wrong with eggplant. So the other thing we'll need for our eggplant stew is, of course, our tomatoes, our onion, and you know how I like my pepper. So I'm using 1 habanero pepper today. So I'm actually using a little, let's say like 5-6 tomatoes. It's small, it's not so big. So I'm using 6 tomatoes, I'm using half an onion and the habanero. And of course, I already have some diced onion. This is half onion, so I split it into 2. These are all diced up, half onion. And you will need your crayfish to put a taste to it. And of course, I'm using Knorr Maggi cube. I'm using 2 Knorr Maggi cube. And I'm also going to be using some shredded stockfish. Yes, this is going to add taste to my stew, a lot of taste. So now, okay, so I mentioned that we're going to make our eggplant stew and we're going to eat it with plantain, right? So I am going to be using unripe plantain. So I'm using 4. We're just going to boil this. There's nothing to it. You just add some salt and you boil it. Make sure you cook it properly. Plantain is a very rich source of essential nutrients, which includes your fiber, your vitamin C, your B6, your minerals such as your potassium, your magnesium, and it's also very rich in iron. So you cannot go wrong with this meal. Combining this meal, your life will just be so rich and filled with goodness. Now let's look at the step we're going to take to make our eggplant stew. So I am going to move this camera. Okay. So the first thing you want to do when making your eggplant stew, this is an empty pot. So I am going to add my eggplant in there, in my pot. I'm going to add a lot of water to fill it up, because you want this to be soft enough so you can actually remove the peeling, right? So I'm going to add water to my egg, to the pot. I'm going to turn on my heat. You want to allow this to cook for almost 20 to 30 minutes, because you really want it to be soft so you can take out the peelings from the. Okay, so I've added my eggplant to my pot. I'm going to let this cook, and then I'm going to add my tomatoes, my onion, and my pepper to the pot as well. We want our tomatoes and pepper to be soft enough so we can actually crush it. So again, if you are just joining me for the first time, please subscribe, share this video with your loved ones, like the video, and also leave me a comment on how you would normally make eggplant stew. If you've ever made an eggplant stew, what are the process you take? Just leave me a comment, okay? Love you guys. We'll be right back. Thank you. Alrighty, so now we have been cooking for almost 20 minutes. I had to leave this to cook for some time more because my tomatoes was just not soft enough. So now you want to make sure your tomatoes is actually soft enough so you can crush it. So that's really the goal. Okay, so we are going to crush tomatoes, onion, and pepper. It's not going to take so much to crush it. You just make sure you crush everything properly. I think that's good enough because we cooked it properly. It's so easy to crush. So now I am going to turn off my heat and I'm going to remove the eggplants and put it in a bowl. So my eggplant is really hot, so I'm going to let this sit on the side for like 2 to 3 minutes to cool down before I take out the peelings. While we wait on the eggplants to cool down a little bit before we take out the peelings, we are going to boil our plantain. So I'm going to add some water to my pot. I'm going to add this to my pot. I'm going to add some salt to taste. You want to leave your plantain to cook for maybe 20 to 25 minutes and then we'll be ready. To clean your eggplants, like I mentioned, you need to remove the peelings. So it looks like this. You need to remove the peelings. So it's still hot, so I have water so I can always make sure I'm not getting burnt here. So when you are done, it's going to look like this. And I'm going to do the same for the second. This are 2 eggplants. So what you want to do to make it easy to crush, I also like cutting it. This time is very soft, so I'm just going to cut. It's so easy to crush because it's well cooked and it's very soft. So when I fry it, the end product is not going to be too bulky. Really how it's going to look when you're done with your crushing, it's going to look like this. Okay, perfect. So now the next step is we're going to get our oil and then we're going to fry everything together. Okay guys, so now that we have finished crushing our tomatoes, eggplant, so the next thing we want to do is we want to combine everything. So how do we do that? We have to fry it. So I'm going to add, this is a clean pot and I have my heat on, so I'm going to add my olive oil to my pot. Let's give it some time for the oil to heat up and then we'll fry our onion. Alrighty, so our oil is hot enough, so what I want to do now is I am going to add my onion. I'm going to add my stockfish. I'm going to let this cook for, let's say, 2-3 minutes before we add anything else. Okay, so we have been frying an onion and I added my stockfish there so it gets a little bit soft. So the next thing you want to add in here is your crushed tomatoes, peppers, and onion. I'm going to add my crushed tomatoes. I just reduce my heat because I want to use medium heat to cook this. So I'm going to add my crayfish. I'm going to add my non-Maggi cube. I'm going to let this sit for a minute or two before adding my crushed eggplant. Okay, so now I am going to add my eggplant. I'm going to mix that up. I'm going to let that cook for 5 minutes. So now I'm going to stir my eggplants stew. The aroma is awesome and it is looking so good, believe me. So I'm going to test for salt. Let it sit for another minute and we'll be done. So now I'm going to check my plantains. The plantains are almost cooked. So once your plantain is cooked, you want to make sure you're straining the water out because you don't want to leave the water in there. It's just going to soak it up. Okay, so I just finished cleaning out the plantain. All you need to do is just to remove the plantain peelings. So now I'm going to add my eggplant sauce on the side. Okay guys, this is our final product. We have our eggplant and our boiled plantain and it smells so good. Okay guys, we made it to the end and I just want to appreciate you all for your support on this channel. Until I come your way again, this is your girl Rosemary. Please be good to each other, treat others the way they want to be treated, love yourself, stay blessed. Bye guys. Mwah.